Hello, I'm Jonah Svoboda, one of the interns here at Netreo, and today I want to talk to you about physical security, one of the most often overlooked aspects of security. You see, most companies think that because they have a secure cyberspace that they are done, that they are secure. But a recent study actually showed that over 10% of all malicious breaches are somehow originating in the physical security space. So it is extremely important to have a tight physical security and to make sure that nothing can get through. Today, I'm going to show you some of the most common techniques used by malicious actors all over the world to get into companies that are otherwise secure from a cyber perspective. And at the end of the presentation, I'm going to show you some remedies that you can actually implement today to make sure that you are more secure in the physical cyberspace. The first one of our long list is tailgating. Tailgating is one of the most common security breaches. It is as simple as walking behind an employee that just badged in. Most people try to be nice, most people try to be forthcoming to each other. So if they see a guy on the phone just talking to their boss or something, they will just hold the door open for them. They don't want him to. They don't want to bother him, so they just will let him in, and bam, you have a malicious actor in your doors. It is quite easy to prevent. It can be as simple as just better employee training, but it can go as far as actually physical remedies. But you're going to see a common factor in the whole presentation, and that will be employee training. It is extremely important to train the humans because in most attacks, even in the cyber security space, the human is the weakest link in the chain. The human is the one that is most likely the easiest to exploit, especially if they aren't trained properly. Another huge security factor are elevators. Most people don't realize elevators are the best security measures companies can have. They can be so small they can only fit one person. They can be locked, so only with an access card you can use them. Or, like most companies, they are just normal elevators. They fit, I don't know, 10 people, and they don't need a card or anything. But the huge potential with elevators is you can have a completely open floor, open to everyone, open to the public. An elevator leading to the second floor, and in the second floor you will have all your critical infrastructure, all your server rooms, all your offices, etc. So elevator security is also a huge factor for security. And again, we're going to see that later in the remedies, but with employee training, you can reach a lot of things extremely, you can get a lot of security for extremely cheap. The next thing is unsecured trash or recycled materials. You see, most people just throw away their documents, not thinking about it too much. But if then the trash cans are just open to the public, even if they are behind like a gate or something that can easily be climbed over, malicious actors can simply dumpster dive for some juicy secret information. So it is crucial to do proper data disposal, whether that be shredding and afterwards burning, whether that be just ripping it up, or having just be simple as having locked trash containers. The next huge thing is access management. I personally went on 1 or 2 physical penetration tests, and I've seen a huge amount of doors that might have been secure, but they were propped open, or employees held the door open for me, like I said, with tailgating. So it is important to have an access management system, a system that tracks how long a door is open, and then potentially dispatches security or even an audible alarm to make people aware that the door is open and needs to be closed as soon as possible. The next one is quite funny if you think about it. It's rooftop security. You see, most people think that, oh, we have bulletproof glass in the windows, we have the best access control system in the world, but oh, look at that, our roof window was open for the past 2 weeks or something. That's not really optimal. So it is actually a huge factor to have not only secure entrances, but also secure roofs, because a malicious actor might not be able to get on your roof on your plot of land, but especially if you're in a multi-family house or in like a strip mall or something, it could be quite easy to jump on one roof and just go from roof to roof until they are on your roof. That's a lot of roofs. So it is important to make sure that rooftops are secured and are actually also secured with an alarm. So it isn't just as easy as popping one open and jumping right in, playing a little bit like Tom Cruise. The next one is, again, mostly employee training, computer screen security. When I go to Starbucks or something, I often see laptops sitting around, being unlocked, being open to the public. Everyone can see everything, everyone can do anything. That is a huge security risk, because it leaves sensitive data just exposed to the public. So it is important to use an automatic screen lock. I recommend 1-minute timers, because in a realistic environment, we're going to move the mouse at least once a minute, or we're going to type something at least once a minute. So a 1-minute lock might sound extremely short, but in actuality, in real life, we are so used to using our computers that we can hardly go 5 minutes without it. And with the screen lock, hey, you have a good reason why your screen time is so high. But also, it is highly important to be aware of your surroundings when you're accessing sensitive information. It is extremely easy for someone just to peek over your shoulder and look at what you're doing. And if the wrong person does that at the wrong time, the admin passwords for AWS might just have been leaked. The next one is actually mostly about training your employees. It is social engineering. If a stranger calls you and says, "Hi, I'm Tim from IT security. Your password has just been breached. Please go to this link to reset your password." What are you going to do realistically? Are you going to take a chance that your company might be compromised and just say, "Nah, I'm going to do it later"? Or especially if the malicious actor calls at 3 a.m. or something, are you going to react, click on that link and punch in your old password and your new reset password? Exactly, you're going to do the thing the malicious actor wants. So especially in this case, training is highly vital to remedy such an attack. Because you see, malicious actors don't just call by accident at 3 a.m. or don't try to log into your Microsoft account or your Netreo account by accident at 3 a.m. because they want to catch you right at the moment where just before going to bed, where you might not notice, I didn't just try to log into Netreo. That's weird. Nah, whatever, I will just go on accept. That is exactly what they want. So it is highly important to always stay vigilant, to never just accept a plain login attempt. And if there is a malicious login attempt, especially you as an employee must immediately inform the security staff, because it might just not be you that is targeted. It might just be the whole company that is under attack. And just one weak link in the chain, just one human is enough to get the whole security collapsing in on itself. So let's get to actual remedies on what you can do to protect yourself against these threats. The first one is training. The staff has always to be vigilant and cautious. There should always be an atmosphere of trust, but verify. Just because someone calls you and says, "Hey, I'm Tim from IT," doesn't mean they are actually Tim from IT. They might be the hacker that tries to get your personal information, or in most cases, your company's information. So if you get a call from Tim from IT, call Tim from IT with the phone number you find in your internal documentation. Because I can guarantee you, if they are so important that they can change your password, they are 100% guaranteed in your documentation somewhere listed under security contact. And also, you have to teach your employees that just being polite sometimes can lead to huge consequences. You see, I also want to hold open the door for the nice lady. that's currently calling her boss. But realistically, she might not actually have a work ID. She might actually not work here. She might just try to get into the building to steal some data. So although I personally do not want to do this, I need to close the door behind me or go through a man trap, you will cover that later, and have her authenticate herself. It isn't a nice move, not gonna lie, but at the end of the day, it is the secure move. The next important point is hardened access systems. As I said before, an access system can be the difference between breach and safe. Companies need to move away from insecure, unencrypted RFID badges and move towards to encrypted NFC badges. They not only offer a better security system, but they offer loads of other potential improvements. For example, clocking the work, not on a central server, but on the actual employee card, clocking the work times can be made much easier this way. The next one is preventing tailgating. As I said before, tailgating is one of the most used techniques when trying to access a building. So either implement physical barriers like man traps that just allow one person at a time through. But like I said before, also train your personnel. Train them to be impolite, to say, stop, you can't follow me. You just make them aware of what's happening, how these attacks are used, and how important it is sometimes to just say, please badge in yourself. Also, guards and cameras can play a huge role. I was in a pen testing once where a security guard saw me. He actually saw in his face that he recognized I wasn't supposed to be there. I don't belong there. But just because he wanted to be polite, just because he didn't want to question someone, he just sat silent. He just accepted, it's gonna be okay, isn't it? And in that case, it was okay because it was an authorized penetration test. But in other cases, I might be not the nice guy that tries to help you, I might be the guy that tries to steal your information. So teach not only your employees, but also your security guards that, yes, of course, the person you're standing in front of might look nice, but at the end of the day, you can't look inside of a head. So you will always have to verify everything the person you're talking to says. So be proactive rather than reactive. Try to stay ahead of the threat. Try to implement these security measures as soon as possible. Try to train your employees so they can recognize tailgating attempts, so they can recognize social engineering attempts, and most importantly, they can recognize when Tim from IT calls at 3 AM, it isn't actually Tim from IT, but rather a malicious actor. That is it for me. I hope you learned something today, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day here at Nugget 2023. I'm Jonah, an intern here at Netreo. Thank you for your time.